So here's SST System1. This finishes at $23.28 today. That is down 13.17%. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here is SBFM Sunshine Biopharma. This finishes at $6.03 today. That is down 37.51%.
And it's gone.
So we talked about the stock yesterday. Was definitely short squeezing. I did say that it had more upside potential, but sooner or later it was going to come crashing down. And yeah, today it comes crashing down. So this was still top 10 on StockTwits. Had almost 10,000 mentions. Very popular stock today. So once again, we're going to analyze it. The reason why this started squeezing was because Sunshine Biopharma did have some good clinical trial results. Apparently their drug was successful in attacking cancer cells. So that was really bullish news. Apes liked it. Jumped in here, squeezed the stock up for 3 days. But yeah, as with every short squeeze, it has to end at some point, and it goes down just as fast as it goes up. Strong pullback today. Looks like momentum is cooling off. So it looks like the squeeze is over, and it's going to pull back from here. So actually, there was a reason as to why the stock went down so much today, besides the squeeze coming to an end. Got some news here. There was an offering for 7.2 million shares. This isn't breaking news. They announced this March 30th, but I believe this went into effect today. So with any share offering, it's never a good thing, always bearish, because that means dilution for the stock. So 7.2 million shares added to the overall float, and that probably contributed pretty heavily to the sell-off today, along with the squeeze ending. All right, so let's go ahead and analyze here. So first of all, this appears to be a cup and handle in the making. Bottom of the cup is 150, the low, and it appears like the top of the cup is $10, which it topped out at yesterday. So if the top is $10, that would currently be a bearish indicator, because that means this stock is due for a pullback to form the handle. But it can also be above $10. It can be $10.80, $13.70, or $18.85. So the cup and handle can be bullish or bearish depending on where the top is. But it appears like in the short term, it's a bearish indicator. Longer term, it looks like a bullish indicator. And then we do have a double gap up. First gap up at around 170. So that is a bearish indicator. That is telling us that the stock may come back down to 170 to fill that gap. Seems pretty unlikely, but possible. So be aware of that, guys. And then we have another gap up at 240. So another bearish indicator. That is telling us that the stock may come back down to 240 to fill this gap. And I do think that one is possible. That is realistic. And in the aftermarket here, this is down to 555. So that is a bearish indicator for Monday. That is suggesting that Monday the stock will sell off as well. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is sitting on the support of $6, which it finished at today. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 630, 670, 715, 755, 785, 810, 840, 875, 905, 945, 975, and then 995. There is resistance above 995, but we're not going to discuss that right now. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 555, 510, 485, 445, 420. Low nice. 390, 360, 330, 295, 265, 240, 220, $2, 180, 160, and then the low of 150. So right now at this current price, 603, the channels to the upside and the downside are very wide. So expect significant price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 240 to the downside, the channel starts to narrow. So expect a significant decrease in price action if/when this breaks 240. And as this stock runs to the upside, the channels get wider. So if the stock continues to run to the upside, expect an even bigger increase in price action. RSI is currently at 60, so no longer in overbought, overvalued territory, which it was yesterday, but still above average. So according to the RSI, the current price of 603 should be lower. And this did 90 million in volume today, way above the average of 1.5 million. So the sell-off today was confirmed by the volume. Although it does appear like the momentum is cooling off. Volume has been coming down the past couple of days. So it appears like the squeeze is coming to an end. Okay, guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. Yesterday I said that it appears like the squeeze is going to be over pretty soon. I said that there may be a little bit more upside to go, but sooner or later it would have to crash. And now it's crashing. So in the short term, we are getting some pretty bearish indicators here. Double gap up, cup and handle, momentum cooling off, aftermarket action. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. Like I said, it appears like the squeeze is over, crashing right now, and this is a falling knife at the moment. Looks like there's a lot of downside to go. Like I said, this is going to go down just as fast as it went up. So I don't think $6 is a good entry. I think there's still a lot of downside to go. I would not buy in here. I would hold off until 240 at least, because that's where one of the gaps are. And it may go even lower than that, back to 170. So if you were to go along here at $6, you're probably going to get burned. Doesn't really make sense to do that right now. I would say going along here would be a high risk, low reward play. Looks like the squeeze is over. Pretty slim chance this goes back up to $10 and higher. And it looks like a lot of downside from here. So really no reason to go long here, guys. I really don't think that's a great idea. So yeah, I don't like the entry of $6. I would support going long at 240 where the gap is and lower. And if it pulls back below 240, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, again, it appears like the squeeze is over and is due for a massive pullback. I do think it will pull back down to 240 where the gap is, maybe even lower. So from the current price of $6 down to 240 where the gap is, that is a 60% downside. So a lot of downside potential, a lot of money to be made here on the downside. And I would say going short here would be a low risk, high reward play. Definitely does not look like it's going back to the upside. A lot of downside potential. It's crashing right now. It's a falling knife. Really not much upside risk and a lot of downside potential. So looks like a really, really good shorting opportunity, in my opinion. So you should be able to make at least 60% to the downside here, maybe even lower. If it pulls back down to 170, where the second gap is, that would be over a 70% downside. So I think you should easily be able to make 60 to 70% on the downside here, going short. Not financial advice. So it seems like a pretty excellent shorting opportunity to me. So I would support going short at $6 and higher. Yesterday I said $9.65 was a really good entry. And even here at $6, it's still a really good entry. Yeah, pretty straightforward, guys. Long term, the stock should have its day again. But in the short term, squeeze appears like it's over. It's going to go crashing down. It's a falling knife right now. A lot of downside to go. So really no reason to go long here at this point. Please don't do that, guys. And looks like a pretty good shorting opportunity. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is SBFM, Sunshine Biopharma. So here is SST System1. This finishes at $23.28 today. That is down 13.17%. So another stock that we discussed yesterday. This was definitely short squeezing. I did predict yesterday that it looked like the squeeze is over and it's due for a pullback pretty soon. And yeah, today it finishes down 13%. Although it was pumping earlier in the day, but massive price action here finishes pretty in the red. So the stock was still top 10 on StockTwits today. I think it had over 5,000 mentions. So once again, we're going to analyze it. So this started squeezing a couple days ago on really good earnings. So that was the big catalyst for the short squeeze. Low float stock, not hard to squeeze. I'm surprised it squeezed for that long. But as with all short squeezes, at some point they're going to have to come to an end, and they come crashing down just as fast as they went up. So it appears like momentum is cooling off, and the short squeeze should be over now. But yeah, let's go ahead and analyze here. So we do have a double gap up. First gap up at 1725, so that's a bearish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should come back down to 1725 to fill this gap. And then we have another gap up at 2140, so another bearish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should come back down to 2140 to fill this gap. And in the aftermarket here, this is running up to 2440. So that is a bullish indicator for Monday. That is suggesting that Monday the stock will run to the upside. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 2680 and 2290. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 2680, 2845, 2940, 3425, and then the high of 3710. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 2290, 22, 2140, 2035, 1895, 1820, 1765, 1725, 1665, 1605, 1560, 1515, 1465, 1430, and then 1360. There is support below 1360, but we're not going to discuss that right now. So right now at this current price, 2328, the channels to the upside and the downside are very wide, so expect significant price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 1820 to the downside, the channel starts to narrow, so expect a significant decrease in price action if/when this breaks 1820. RSI is currently at 69. Lol, nice. So no longer in overbought, overvalued territory. It was yesterday, but still very high RSI. It's still pretty much overbought, overvalued. So be careful, guys. And this did 18 million in volume today. Very significant volume, way above the average of 600,000. So the sell-off today was confirmed by the volume. although the volume has been going down the past couple of days. So momentum is cooling off, and it does appear like the short squeeze is coming to an end. Alright guys, just my opinion, not financial advice, and this is fairly obvious to me, same as yesterday. So we are getting some very strong bearish indicators at the moment. Double gap up, high RSI. Only bullish indicator is the aftermarket action. No neutral indicators. So like I said, this was definitely short squeezing. It was only a matter of time before this was due for a major pullback, and now we are getting that pullback, and it appears like there's a lot of downside to go here. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. This is crashing down right now, pulling back from a short squeeze. Falling knife, so really no reason to go long at this moment. Seems like a really bad idea. I would say going long would be a high risk, low reward play. Price is still pretty high, and it's probably not going to the upside anytime soon. So really no reason to go long here. You're probably going to get burned. I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. If you do want to go long, I would say hold off and set your buy orders to 17.25. That's where the second gap is. It should come back down there, and it's probably going to go even lower than that. But at the very minimum, I would set your buy orders to 17.25. I think that's a pretty decent entry, and if it goes below 17.25, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, seems like a pretty good play to me. Again, very strong bearish indicators. Only bullish indicator is the aftermarket action, and that is temporary, and no neutral indicators. And again, I do think this will pull back down to 17.25 to fill that gap. So from this current price of 23.30, that would be over a 25% downside. Not a super crazy amount of downside potential, but still pretty good money to be made on the downside here. So I would say going short here would be a low risk, medium to high reward play. Definitely worth it. Honestly, you should have went short today. You already missed a good amount of tendies. Here at 23.30, it's still a pretty good entry on the short side, and you should be able to make an easy 25% at least, probably even more. So I would support going short at 23.30, and I would cover at 17.25 and lower. So yeah, pretty straightforward, guys. Yesterday I predicted this is due for a major pullback very soon. Looks like the squeeze is over, and we are getting that pullback now. So I don't really see a reason to go long here. It doesn't really make sense to do that. And going short appears to be a pretty decent play. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today, and good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is SST System1. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please like the video. Please subscribe and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know. Diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace out.